Welcome to our first financial masterclass. This is our first time trying this. Hopefully it will grow. And like it will grow, not hopefully it will grow. Because as VisionaryCorner, we are more passionate about financial education, entrepreneurship, vision and purpose. So today we're going to be teaching about more financial knowledge, financial management. Then our next upcoming event is on the 16th, June 16. I think you can all summarize that. I'm sure you all know the motto June 16. We always host business seminars and all of that, right? So today we're going to be talking more on the financial part because it's something that black people often struggle with. So this is a body of work that I've written, this one. It's a body of work that I've written. So each and every one of you can grab a copy. So it's a booklet that I've written. So how did my experience of financial management start? It began at the age of 5. I started saving at the age of 5. Till today, consistently, I am still saving. So already subconsciously, it's in my mind to save because I started at the age of 5. So if one thing I were to advise parents, one skill that they should teach their children is to save. Because if you start them at the younger age, they grow up with saving. Because the reason why a lot of people are in trouble financially is because they never grew up saving. Like we were taught, and we spend everything and we don't save. And the saving starts with your pocket money. If you can't save your pocket money, how are you gonna save your salary? Like let's talk from scales from 10 rand to 20 rand, you understand? Because the mentality we have as black people, we think we need more money to start taking money seriously. And it starts with the little that you have. Because the group that I was hoping to see the most is the students. Because they get NEFSAs 1.5. And you know how most of them spend that money. If yesterday you went to Bramfontein, you could have seen what how vogue it was. The pubs are packed and all of that. People are drinking. So you see that mentality of spending, we grow up with that mentality. So I don't remember who was saying we were taught how to spend, not how to save. So that's the problem we're facing. So the first part that we're gonna start with is the terms. Is the terms and your gross. So the first one. So I've tried to write the definitions to simplify them as simple as possible. Because another reason why we don't invest or save as black people is because of the terms that these financial advisors give us. Like they give us big terms and we think this thing is complicated. So I believe to make education to be fun, you need to be simple. Simplicity is key. So the first term is called invest. Okay, if you can go to the first term is called invest. So invest is to spend money or is to spend time, as Kutron was emphasizing one time, right? Or effort on something that will give you a return, right? With an expectation of getting a return. That is what to invest. Investment is money, time or effort invested in something that brings income, profit or interest, right? So that's investment. So do you see the definitions are different from invest and investment? So investment is something that is already there. Then invest is something that you are doing. Then the next part is save. To save is to put money away for a specific use, right? Is to keep money aside for the future or set money aside. Then income is money that is earned from a job or investment. Then expense, this is the spending of money like on our day-to-day livings. Then liability, so then asset, this is the most important one. Asset is something that puts money into your pocket or into your wallet, right? Then the next one is called liability, something that takes money out of your pocket. Then the next one is called appreciation, something that goes up in value. Depreciation, something that goes down in value. The next thing is called the balance sheet. That's something I'm sure most black people don't know it, and only if you did accounting. But in general base, you don't know what a balance sheet is. So a balance sheet is a comparison of our assets and liabilities. The second one is called your income statement. It shows your income versus your expenses. Most of us typical black people only have what? The income statement. Even if you, subconsciously, even if we don't know, but we have an income statement. But the balance sheet we don't. And like balance sheet we do have it. But most of our balance sheet goes into negative debt. Yeah, into negative. But I'll dive more into deep when you're doing this. Then shares. This is a form of ownership of a company or a business, which is something that Kumbuz will be touching more about, ne? Because we want to make this as practical as possible. Then administration is the handling of resources or administration. Because another biggest issue that we are facing is management in South Africa, ne? It's management. So we're gonna start with part 1 of this booklet, ne? So the first part, it's all about management. It's all about management. So when we start about management, I took a parable from the book, from the Bible, because I believe the Bible is the greatest book. We can read all kind of books, but for me, I believe the Bible is the best one. And all the teachings from all these great books come from the Bible. Just like great books like The Secret, Think and Grow Rich. If you can study the Bible, those principles come from there. So the first one starts with the parable, ne? So to read the full story, you can refer to Matthew 25 verse 14 to 30. So what happens in that story? There were 3 servants, ne? So they were given talents. So in this situation, you're gonna use the talent as money, ne? So they were given what? Talents. Which is money, ne? So they were given talents. The first one was given 5. The second one was given 2. The other one was given 1, ne? So the one who was given 5 multiplied it to 5. The one was given 2 multiplied it to another 2, ne?
4.
So yeah, I'll do the totals. Then this one 0, ne? They never did anything. So which means they now have 10 talents, 4 talents, and 1 talent, ne? Then the master came back to check the servant who he gave the talent. So when he came back, he asked, what did the one who got 5 do? The one who got 5 multiplied another 5, which they got 10, right? 2 multiplied another 2, which is 4 in total, right? Then this one was given 1. They did nothing with their talent or with their money. So he was called wicked, ne? He was called wicked because of what? Mismanagement. He was called wicked. He couldn't manage whatever he had. So after the servant came back, he took the 1 talent, he gave it to the one who had 5 talent. So which means this one is already sitting at 0 now. You understand? So this is the biggest thing that we face in finance. The biggest problem is not money. The biggest problem is management, ne? Because each and every one of us has been given something to start with. So how do you go forward? It's all about management. Because if you don't have management, you're gonna lose whatever has been given to you. Just like this one. He had 1 talent, but that he couldn't manage it. It went down the drain. It's just like when you get your first salary or your first income. The biggest mistake we make, we buy things on credit. So already that credit is stealing what? Our talent. So which means from 1 to 0. While the other ones who are managing it, while they are multiplying, ne? Because God doesn't look at how much you have. You look at what you do with what you have, ne? Because if you can check the theme of part 1, it's written, it's not how much money you make, but what you do with what you have, ne? It's all about management. So whatever you refer to God as, he always looks at the management. It doesn't care as to how much you have, ne? Because you all have something to start with. Because the biggest problem with society and most of our youth, we want to look at the bigger picture, but we don't look at what we have. We don't manage what we have. I mean, if you can't manage 10 rand, how are you going to manage 100 rand? It's just basics. If you can't be faithful with small, you're going to do what? You're going to be unfaithful with much, ne? Because most people are looking at the bigger picture, like your 100,000 and all of that to start managing money well. So you have to start with whatever you have, right? So the key to attaining wealth is based on your management skills. It's not how much you have. So you need to master your management skills in order to accumulate wealth, ne? You need to be able to do this to manage your finances. If you look at the parable story, the God multiplied the money of the servants who invested their talents, right? So whoever invested their talents was whatever they had, it was multiplied, right? Then the one who couldn't manage, they lost whatever they had, ne? So which means they were left with 0. Just like how most people start with a proper salary at 10,000, but down the line within a year they are now into debt of 15,000. So which means the entire 10,000 went down the drain, ne? went down the drain. Because if you are faithful with little things, you'll be trusted with much. Ne? If you are not faithful with little, it will be taken away. Just like the servant who had one talent, it was taken away from him. So if you are not faithful with whatever you have, you're gonna eventually lose it. That's how it is. Ne? You always have something to start with. You always have something to start with. There's only something within us to start with. Like Brother Kutlon's what? Speaking skills. We have baking skills. We have teaching skills. He has teaching skills. She has cooking skills. He's a computer scientist, right? And he's always been good with physics. Back in the days, even drawing, right? So you see, you always have something to start with. But the problem is mismanagement. If mismanagement is, if you can't manage whatever we have, you're gonna lose it to what? Mismanagement. Just like South Africa, there's great resources. But due to mismanagement, we are still stuck wherever we are. Because honestly, we're supposed to be the top performing country globally. But due to mismanagement of the current government, we are going down the drain. Like we have the mines. You can come in. Like we have the mines. We have the resources, but we are still poor. How is it? Okay, because we have check, if you can check and think about this, we have what's this thing called? We have the mines, we have all of that, but due to mismanagement, we are losing everything that we have. We are losing everything to Europe, right? Because you can blame the white people and all of that, but those people are good with management. Like look at the apartheid government. What they did with the resources that they had, they managed to multiply. Everything that is the black people we get, we consume. So who do we blame? Do we blame the apartheid government? Do we blame ourselves? Do we blame God? Do we blame our family? Who do we blame? It's all up to us, right? Because it's due to mismanagement. If you can check this article, I found this article on News 24. It's written that people who earn between 180,000, which is 15,000 per month and above. Ne? After 5 days of getting paid, they are broke. And after 5 days of getting paid, you can use this. It's okay. After 5 days of getting paid, they are broke. So I'm sure most of you were thinking, well, you need a lot of money so that you can be well financially. And it's not the truth. Imagine if a person of 15,000 is broke after 5 days. So how much more money do you need in order to survive? Because you know what's the problem, ne? If you can't manage, how much is it? 15,000. When it comes to 20,000, even your debt multiplies. Because the biggest problem that we have as society, once you're getting a smaller increase, you wanna multiply your lifestyle. If you know that you drink Black Label on a regular basis, since now you have money, you wanna go and drink isopropels for what? Like all along we've been drinking Black Label. So why should you change your lifestyle? Because that's the mentality we have as black people. As soon as we get the increase, we think we have made it. We want to increase our lifestyle. Because if we were to check our increase versus the inflation rate, most of the time there's no increase. Let me just make a practical example. Ne? Let's say inflation is 6%. Ne? Then used to earn 10,000. Ne? Used to earn 10,000. Ne? Then your salary increases by 6%. What is 6% of 10,000? 600. 600. So which means in total, you have 10,600. But if you were to check this amount, your salary increase is the same with inflation. So the value of your salary never increased. What increased is the numbers. And then the value is still the same. What changes only the numbers. So another thing that we need to weigh against is the inflation rate. So that's the biggest problem we make. We think we have got an increase. We start extending our lifestyle. And then, so obviously when your increase is now 10,600, but you want to increase a lifestyle that is bigger than this. And that's why we fall into trap. You understand? So this is our saying, as I was saying in FNB, it shows that most people are earning between 15,000 to more, they're struggling financially. Imagine after 5 days, you don't have anything on the bank. So you saw the problem is not the money, the problem is the management skills. So I think the most important thing that you can take from part 1 is the management skills. Ne? The thing that you can take the most from part 1 is your management skills. Ne? Then the next, there are some of the things. How are you using your time? As Kutlano was saying, how are you using your time? Ne? How are you using your money? How are you using your hustle? God will give according to your management skills. Ne? Making money, as I'm closing part 1, making money is easy, but keeping and managing it is the hardest. Because guys, let's be honest, making money is not that hard. Because if Shoni is baking, I can go to Shoni, shoot a cakes. If she's selling a packet for 10 rand, I can say it's 12 rand. Already I'm making a profit of how much? 2 rand. Making that 2 rand is easy, but keeping it is the hardest. Most people got paid yesterday, but next week they're gonna be broke. Surely some of you, you know people who earn more than you, but they come and borrow money from you. True or false? I'm sure most of you know that. And you know what, some next week are gonna phone with say, already as we are speaking, some already broke now. Excel, get transport and groceries. Plus next week it's Easter, it's gonna be worse. Because I don't know why we have so much culture of what? Spending, right? We are more of consumers than producers. So these are some of the questions to reflect on. So I think I can give you 2 minutes to reflect on these ones. What do you have? You can write it down. You know, these are some of the discussions that we're gonna have towards the end. What do you have? Because the questions are written. What do you have? Is it a job? Is it a skill? Is it a hustle? Is it a side hustle? And what are you doing with what you have? And how long does your monthly income last you? Ne? So we're gonna take 2 minutes and we're gonna write those answers down. So it's called the basic literacy of financial management. Okay, the opening part that I open with here from the basic of financial management is vocabulary is what separates the rich man from the poor man. Wise man once said what separates the rich from the poor is the vocabulary. Because how do you expect a poor man to invest if he doesn't know the meaning of investing? Like, let's do a practical example. Let's just take a tour, go house to house. Ask how many people have investments. After you ask them how many of them have investments, the second thing, ask them to define the word investment. To define the word liability. I guarantee you 80% of them don't know. And you wonder why they don't have any investments. It's because of the what? Of the vocabulary. It's because of the vocabulary. Money is not a problem. The problem is the knowledge. Financial literacy is the most important thing. Because I can give you 50,000, but if you don't have the financial literacy, what are you going to do with it? You're going to spend it badly. Let's look at our tenderpreneurs. A man who's been broke all his life, the government gives him a tender for, let's say, 10 million. What's going to happen the first thing they get the money? Bentley. They go to Conca, Viano. It's because of what they've been broke all their life. They don't have the language. It's like when you give inheritance to someone who has never worked for it. Most of the time it goes down the drain. That's why if you go to Indian shops, now you'll find their kids working there. They are teaching them the vocab and the business language, right? So the first step to begin with, to invest with, is your mindset. As Kutlona was saying, the mindset is the most important thing. You see, I was talking about self-development. Now I'm talking about finances. Do you see how does the mindset link? What is the tissue? You see how the mindset links from self-development and what? And financial education. Because guys, the mind is everything. Everything begins in the mindset is everything. Mindset is everything. So Namina, let me take you back on my journey when I started in 2018. That's when I got into business formally. So I registered the business in March. It was registered March, April, May, June, July, August, September. When was it? April, May, June, July, August, September. When is it? So it's May, April, ne? May, March, from March until September. So it was April, ne? May, June, July, August, September. So for 6 months, there was no income, there was no tender, there was no anything. So what happened? The first 3 months, I was still planning the vision, ne? 3 months is the vision. The second 3 months, I started studying. The first book that I ever read is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So I'd recommend everyone to get that book. So that's the book that changed my life. So the first time I read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, so which means from June, July, August. Ne? And like it's what? July, August, September. I was studying Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That's when I came into this concept. OPM. Those of you who have read the study guide that I've written, you will surely see this. Other people's money. Ne? So I read about the concept of how to start a business using other people's money. Ne? So that's why I learned it from the book. So that's why I'm saying it's important to keep investing in yourself. At least daily, I invest 4 hours in self-development. Daily, I invest in myself on self-development. I no longer watch TV. Because that thing is draining. Because that thing is draining, and most of the things that they're teaching, they're non-educational. Like Wozal and all of that, like those things don't challenge you. Like some of the stories you can watch and you can already predict. I mean, you are too intelligent to watch such things. You understand? Some things you can say, Ramara, this thing is stupid. If you were to meet the producer. So it's important to invest in your language. So guys, information is free. YouTube information is there, books are free. So what's stopping you? Everything is there. Unlike back in the days, if you wanted a book, you had to go hunt it. Maybe in a location only one person would have a book. Now, by the tip of your hand, you already have a book, right? So do you understand the power of reading and the power of investing in yourself? There are free courses, there are short-term courses. Keep on investing in yourself. Just because you got your qualification doesn't mean it ends there. You keep on investing in yourself. Just because you didn't go to varsity doesn't mean you cannot invest in yourself. Like check, this thing is 100 rand, but people won't pay. But let's say let's go and drink. Yama Hennessy Pumayon. Even the one let's say Masoxini Pumayon. And you wonder why some people are rich and why some people are poor. It's not coincidence, it's choices. Show me where you spend your money, I'll show you your future. Do you understand? Because the Bible says you will keep your money where your heart is. So if your heart is in women, you're going to keep it in women. So if you ask good one say, but you all know the secret to Rala, yet illegal, right? It's something that they will never tell you. If your heart is in alcohol, you'll invest in alcohol. Because I'm not personal, I had to invest in this. I had to even pump up some of the cash to invest in this. Ne? Because this thing I'm looking at from the long term. Because long term we should be feeling more sensing convention center, auditoriums. Imagine if you can get 6,000 people. Because this is just a planting seed. Do you understand? Because everything great began in a garage or like cheap. Can I engage him fast? Okay, just to go some. She's our last boy. So I can continue, ne? Yeah. Where did I put that study guide? Is it that one? Okay, the first thing that we're gonna dive into, the first basic literacy of financial management is called your budget. It's called your budget. It's called your budget. As it's written, a budget is a written plan of how you spend your income and your expenses, right? Your budget is it shows how you spend your income and your expenses, right? How many of us have budgets? How many of us have budgets? 1, 2, 3. You have a budget?
For my business use.
Yeah, for your personal, you don't have.
No, not yet.
Easy?
At least I'm learning today.
You don't know it, ne?
I know about the budget, but
You don't have one. Because guys, This thing is taught in maths literacy. People who underestimate maths literacy, we insult the learners, but this is taught in maths literacy. I think this maths literacy was supposed to be basic finance. Because a budget is important. Everywhere you go, government, there's a budget. We have 2 budgets there. 1 year Feb, the one in October, right? Schools have budgets. Organizations have budgets. Churches have budgets. So if organizations and all of those things have budgets, why can't we individuals have budgets? Because a budget is critical. A budget shows how much money you making and how much money you spending, right? If it can show you how much money you making and how much money you spending. So a budget is made up of 2. So a budget is made up of 2. Ne? It's your income and your expense. Your income, it can be your salary, profit, dividends, book allowance, pocket money. Next day it will be NEPSAS probably, and whatever bursaries you have. Expenses, things that you need, charities, data, or whatever it is that you need, right? So you need to have a budget, a written plan of your income and your expenses, right? So yeah, so the advantages of a budget, it disciplines you to live within your means, ne? A budget keeps you to live within your means. The reason why people are in debt, they just spend without budgeting, ne? They just spend without budgeting. As Kutran was saying, it's important to write down your vision down as much as your budget, ne? As much as your budget, it's important to write your budget down. Yesterday we were having a meeting. I'm sure we were really busy mobile. I was busy balancing some finances, from personal finance to businesses and all of that. Because if I didn't balance them yesterday, then come is today's expenses and all of that, I was gonna get too confused. You understand? So I was spending time on budgeting my finances. It keeps you disciplined to live within your means. I'm proud to say I don't have any debt. I don't owe anyone. But I have people who owe me. I can proudly say that. It's because of what? It's because of a budget. If I can do it, you can do it. Because guys, we are not born with debt. A debt is a man-made thing. And a debt is a man-made thing. Even the Bible tells you, anyone who's into debt is a slave to the lender. So which means if you owe F&B, you're a slave to F&B. That's why you're forced Monday to wake up in the morning, right? That's like when I work with clients, sometimes we tell them, well, guys, we understand we don't need your money. If you're gonna come and think you're gonna come and so you wanna control, like you know how when you work with school kids, how they are. It's some of the policies that you have. We tell you straight, yeah, we're not here to beg you. Because sometimes black people have that mentality when they pay you, they think they can control you. But if you're not really needing much of that finances, you can push because you don't have any debt. But if you're into debt, I will tolerate your nonsense. But if you are not into debt, I will tell you that you can take your money and go elsewhere. Because as you're speaking, there's one of our students that we are disconnecting from our academy. She has her own story issues there. She wants to be followed, she wants to run her own show. So we told her from April, keep your money, go elsewhere. There are many tutoring companies. So yeah, it allows you to keep record of your finances, right? At least from January you can review, I've made so much money, I've spent so much money, I've missed my money. Because what's nice about budget, you can track your money. Even if you're not using it wisely, at least you now know, at least it went to maybe gambling, it went to drinking and all of that, right? You understand? Because you know, there's a lot of gambling, you know, Kokas. There's that machine, call my friend, there's Betway, there's sport bet, like there's a lot of things to gamble. Like these days it's easier to waste your money on unnecessary things. But if your Uber Eats, like there are many things. That's why I don't want certain apps on my phone. Because I know when you have certain apps, you start mis-spending, you understand? Then okay, let's look at the 3 scenarios. Ne? So now we are getting deep into this. Or you don't have one. Okay, you just listen. Ne? Okay, it says, let's study the 3 different scenarios. 3 people work for the same company and the same salary, but financially they're on different tracks. Ne? So there are 3 people, it's A, B, C. Ne? They all earn the same salary. Ne? They all earn the same salary, but financially they're in different states. Ne? So let's look at A's finances first. Ne? Their income is 3, so they all work for the same company and they all earn 4,000. Ne? Income, how much is it? 400. Ne? Then the second one is you go to your expenses, because I said your budget is made up of your income and expenses, right? This 1,000 goes to paying credit and account. Surely some of you can relate. Your credit and account, those means the prices, those tours that you owe, right? The second one is food. Ne? If you stay alone or you have your own house, you contribute towards food. The next one is transportation. The next one is data. The next one is entertainment. The next one is rent. Ne? The next one is rent. The next one is lunch. So if you calculate this amount, it gives us 4.5. Does it make sense with how much they are earning? They earn how much? 4,000. How much is their expenses?
4.5.
4 point. So do you see? So let's say 4,000 minus 4.5 is equals to minus 500. So which means this 500 is already from debt. That's why they come to Woma Chonisa, right? Yeah. And then that's why they come to Woma Chonisa, because most of the people, their income goes here. To what? And to debt, right? Because this person is earning 4,000 but is spending what? 500 more, right? And if you can check the expense that is spending, it's Uber. Is it really necessary to request sometimes? Because sometimes what keeps us broke is some of these expenses that we have. Like you wanna live a certain lifestyle. As I'm saying, even these apps, they're killing us. Like your Uber Eats, your Uber, these clubs, like they want you to live in a certain lifestyle. You end up spending more on what you have. Especially those who are in relationships, guys, you know. To call my so over, you need to pay for what? Uber. You need to buy food. So automatically you end up spending more on what you have. Some of them even come to borrow money from you, right? Just because they wanna impress. Ne? So which means A needs to cut down their expenses. So here's the scenario. A just spends his salary without a budget. During the month, he borrows money from family and friends. He lives beyond his means. And then he spends more than he earns. He spends an extra 500 that he does not have. A lives on debt that he does not have any savings or investments. A spends 1,000 from his salary to pay what? Bad debt, such as your clothing account and credit cards. Ne? So do you see A is spending more? He's spending money that he doesn't have. Do you understand? Then the next one, we go to B's income. Ne? B's income says salary is 4,000. Expenses are transport, food, rent, entertainment, data, lunch, DSTV. The total is 4,000. So B lives, everything is equal. His expenses are equal to his salary, right? Salary and expenses are equal, but it's risky. And then, because COVID taught us something where anything can shut down. How many people had their old jobs going well? How many people had debt? They thought, April, May 2020, I will pay. COVID came. No more income was coming. No savings were there. Some people are still into debt today because of the debt that they've made in 2020. Like they didn't have any reserves. So they had to go to the bank to borrow money. Now they have to pay interest on because they didn't have anything. Just like B is risky because it's living hand to mouth. Ne? Then the next one we go to C. C's income is made up of the salary. It's made up of the online business return on investment. So let's go to expenses. Ne? If you can check at the bottom, it says 250 contract. Ne? So C pays 250 for contract. Ne? But in return, he makes 500 more. Do you see? So C is using what? Debt to make money. You see? C is using debt to make money. So from his 250 for contract, in a month is making a return of 500, right? The second money that he gets is 80 rand from the investment. You see, eco expenses is return investment 400. So every month he gets a monthly return of how much? 80 bucks. So do you see C, A, B, C, they're all working the same job. But C created what? Investments from his salary, right? They're all earning 4,000. Because if you can check C, he spends less on entertainment, right? He spends less on entertainment. He doesn't pay unnecessary things such as DSTV. Because some of you guys, what's killing is unnecessary expenses like your Netflix. Is it helping you or is it draining your pocket? Think about the expenses that are killing you, that you don't even really need them. Ne? So C earns 4,000 from his job, but he uses his salary to create other streams of income. He gets 80 Rand interest monthly from his 400 investment, right? Then he also invests 500 from using his phone to run an online business, right? He pays 250 contract to, and he makes 500 from his online business. Do you understand? So which means he's making money from the contract. Do you understand? So now we get to part 2 of the basic of financial management. The next one is called your income statement. Ne? Your income statement is an account that shows income versus expenses. Ne? It's an income that it's an account that shows what? Your income versus your expenses, right? Okay, sorry, I've made a mistake here. It was the way it's written liability, it was supposed to be written expenses. So as I was saying, each and every one of us has what? An income statement. Most of us, it's only income and expenses, right? So obviously an example of an income statement, it can be your salary, your profit, whatever you make money, that's gonna fall under income. Then for your expenses, it's gonna be things such as your food, your data, and all of that. Ne? Then the next part, if you look at the 3 different income statements, C income statement shows that this income exceeds his expenses. You see, so he has a surplus to save. Ne? So which means if the income statement that I'm referring to is the one here, A, B, C, ne? From the previous pages. Then B shows that his income is equal to his expenses. There's no extra money to save or invest. Ne? Then A has a negative balance of 500. So which one do you want to be? Do you want to be A, B, C? Which one do you want to be? C. So the whole purpose of today is to teach you how to get to C. Ne? Because guys, you don't need a lot of money to start. Because as Kumbuzo comes when he talks about stocks, you'll be sure. As to how much you can start investing. So the main practical of today is for us to get into C. Because I'm also into C's positions. Because this table, this glasses, this tablecloth, all of these things are money. These green grasses, those things are making money. We know we might look broke, but we know the balance sheet is balanced. Others look like they have it, but the balance sheet is negative. Because don't be fooled by what you see from outside. What matters is the numbers. At the end of the day, is numbers. Because you might look successful, but if the numbers don't say the same story, you are doomed. Do you understand? So the next one, it's called your balance sheet. The balance sheet shows your assets versus your liabilities. What is an asset? An asset is something that puts money into your pocket. Ne? It's something that puts money into your pocket. This thing is an asset. This thing is an asset. If someone wants to use this board, a day we rent it out at least for 50 bucks or 100 Rand. This table alone, 50 Rand. These chairs, 5 Rand each. This mats per meter, 200 per day. So this is what is an asset. It's something that is putting money into the company's pocket. Do you understand? Then the next one is called your liabilities. Your liabilities is things that take money out of your pocket. Things such as your contracts, your clothing account, some it could be student loans and all of that. It's something that takes money out of your pocket, right? So let's compare A and C's financial statement. A has a salary of 4,000. He pays a credit of 1,000, which goes to liabilities. Do you see? So you see, after it goes from expenses, it goes to liabilities. You see? So which means that account that he's paying every month is becoming, it's a what? It's a liability. It's taking money out of his pocket. Which means 1,000, all of it is going outside his pocket, right? Then from there, he also has a debt here, 500, right? He also has a debt of 500, which also goes into liability of 500, right? Then other expenses are 3,000. Then let's go to C's financial statement. Here's a salary of 4,000. Here's an income from online business for 500. Interest from investment. Ne? So his assets are 400. Ne? You understand? The 400 that he bought the asset. Ne? Those are his assets. Then the online business is 500. It's also an asset, right? Do you see what that 250 that is paying is giving him 500? So do you understand how the financial statement works? So it's like this. Let me just put it more on the board. Yeah, these are some of the inspirations that I draw from my role model, Robert Kiyosaki. The one who wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad. So Lena, when he teaches finances, he tries to dive into such things. Because these are the fundamentals. Ne? It's just, please don't mind my handwriting. Ne? Because you're not that good in your. So it's your income, let me just say expense, ne? Asset and liability, even if I don't write in full words. Ne? So let's make an example with, let's start with C, ne? C ends 4,000, ne? He also gets 500 from the online business, 80 from the asset, ne? So how much are his assets? 400 and 250, that is paying. And so do you see that investment that he took out from his salary every month is giving him how much? 80 bucks, ne? 250, this 250 is giving him 500 on a monthly basis, ne? Then he pays 250 expense, even here 250 expense. So the expense moved from expense to liability. Then it comes back as an asset because it's making him money. Do you understand? Do you understand this part? Should I also do A's one? Or I can skip A's one? Okay, let me do A's one. So A ends 4,000. His assets are 0. I can open last color to AA. Doesn't have anything, it's Z 0. And then he pays how much? 1,000 on debt. It goes to liabilities. Then there's that 500 I every month. Ne? It goes where? Liabilities. So you understand how the relationship works. So in order to make more income, you should focus on the asset side. So our main aim is to focus on the asset side. So if the only time we're going to have liabilities, let's have liabilities that are making us money. And do you think people like Mike and Kuna, people who are building malls, they're using their own finances? They're using the bank's finance. They will come, they use other people's money, right? They will take maybe a loan for $1 million. After that $1 million, they buy a house. That house becomes an asset. From asset, it produces income. That income pays off its own debt. Do you understand? So you're making money with other people's money. Do you understand? So there's nothing wrong with debt. The debt that is good debt. There are two types of debt, bad and good debt. Good debt is debt that makes you money. Bad debt is debt that takes money out of your pocket. Do you understand? It's debt that takes money out of your pocket. Then these are some of the Then these are some of the questions you can answer. Ne? I think these ones will answer them during break. Ne? Because now I'm looking at the time. I just want to jump to part 3 so that we can wrap up. Then we go to part 3. Ne? Part 3 are the practical tools of building and multiplying your streams of income. Ne? So now we're going to part 3. Ne? The most important one. Part 3 is practical tools of building and multiplying your streams of income. The reason why, okay, can I ask, how many of you have investments? Okay, you do, ne? Okay, so 3, you have investments. So you 3 guys don't have investments. You don't have. Okay, if I may ask why? Okay, easy if you don't mind.
Maybe I'm just lazy.
Yeah. These are your legs,
Because
and
I do have plans for something. Just the execution
is the thing. And Una, why don't you invest?
I haven't had the right background to budget, invest, and do the financial.
Okay. Don't have the background and all of that. So one of the things why people don't invest is because they don't have the background. Ne? Number 2, as Izzy was saying, he was a bit lazy to do that, right? Number 3, sometimes we think investment is limited to the elite. True or false? Most of the time we think investments are expensive. Most of the time we think the investments are expensive, and they're not expensive. Because the last time I checked, the last time I went to Jaras, this chair was selling for 35 rand. So if this chair is selling for 35 rand and every Saturday you outsource it for 5 rand, you see that's an investment. So you can start as little as 35. But Kumbuz will dive more when it gets into the stocks, ne? It's gonna dive more. So the problem, we think we need a lot of money to start, and we don't need a lot of money to start. Because investing is multiplying what you started with, right? And making more. If you take 10 rand and you want to 20 rand, that's investment. From 20 to 30, it's investment. Because we think with investment, it's millions. Or because what society defines as investments. Because most of the time, most people don't even give you these definitions. They don't even have anything to their name. We are wasting time in, but we're not going to have anything on their name now. Because that's the biggest thing we are facing. Number 1, it says have a vision or write down your financial goals. So it's important to have financial goals, because most of the time we only speak about how you need to have personal goals. Like Kutran was saying, you need to write down your vision. But how many of us have ever been taught to have financial goals? Do we even have financial goals? And how much time do we even spend like investing in our financial goals? Like practical, how much time do you take thinking about your finances? Do you even spend an hour a day? A month? How much time do you invest? Most of us, we don't put much time into finances. We think finances will take care of themselves. That's not the case. You have to take care of your finances. And most people who know me, they know me as a Jude or an Indian when it comes to money. They know I don't play when it comes to money. So that's how firm you need to be with your mind. Like every cent you need to count for it. And because even that 10 cents that you underestimate plays a huge role. That 1 rand that you spend, you need to account for it. So that's why a lot of people are broke. It's because what? You don't have financial goals. Currently, financially, where are you? Where are you going? Right? You have a plan to get there. Skutran was talking, we need to have a plan. If my goal is to get $1 million, at least start to invest at 10 rand. I can't just get $1 million. Get 10, 20, you grow, right? The problem with our society, we don't want to start small. And there's nothing wrong with starting small. Because I'm telling you, 20 years down the line, you're going to be filling auditoriums with what you are doing. It won't be like this, and we're going to be having hundreds and thousands of people. Even training people in copper rates, right? But in order to get there, I have to start somewhere, right? I can't just go to FNB and want to propose. I've never done it before. But if I have a track record, I can go to FNB. So if your financial goals, where are you going financial and all of that? Lack of financial goals creates reckless spending. When you don't have goals, you just spend. Like if you want to impress, when you just spend, right? You just spend your money because you don't have a plan for your money. While financial goals create a disciplined way of spending your money, right? When you have financial goals, you spend your money according to your goals. What are you saving for? Those are some of the questions you should ask yourself. Please highlight these questions. Ne? What are you saving for? What are you investing for? What are you spending? Where are you spending it? Some of your financial goals should be paying off your debt, right? And at the end of the day, you should also have a goal that you want to reach as financially. Because financially, you want to have the same goals. Now my goal is to reach 1 billion. That's my goal. As you can see in this cap, it says Visionary Corner, billionaires under what? The process. So that's my goal. Obviously, when I say I want to reach 1 billion, I don't mean it in money. I mean it in companies, in assets. That's how I want to reach my billion. So when your goal is to reach 10,000, 5,000, there's nothing wrong. You don't have the same goals. Ne? What makes you satisfied? What makes you happy? Because the problem you can want to reach 1 billion, but are you happy now? Are you doing it just to get the impressions from society, from the likes, or are you doing it because you want it? Do you understand? Because that's what keeps a lot of people broke. Then the next thing is to build your skills to earn money. And then the next thing, you need to build your skills to earn money. Build skills that will enable you to earn income. One of the basic skills is to learn to sell. Selling is open to everyone, guys. Selling is open to everyone. What I love about also this seminar is that we're giving people a platform, they're growing their skills. 5-10 years from now, they'll be making a lot of money from those skills that they're making, like with the organizing of the food, the presentation. She's building what? The skills, right? You need to build your skills. Ne? You need to build your skills, because in order to make money, you need to have skills. So skills differ. It is important to find your area of gifts or talents. What is it that you're good at, right? Some people are good with teaching, some people are good with baking, some people are good with singing. So those are the skills that you should be building and focusing. And then guys, building a skill is not a 2 minutes or overnight success. Ne? It takes time. Some of my role models, like Miles Monroe, he took 15 years of speaking for free. He started making money after 15 years. But check when he died in his own private jet. It took 7 years to master what? To start getting paid from speaking. And then you have to start somewhere. The problem with our society, wanna make cash quick. If I wanna do that, maybe go and try sport bet or lotto, but not with investing. Maybe there, but with investing at the wrong place. Ne? So you have to start somewhere. At least you need 5 years to become a master. Like Likawana has been baking. If you can check our work keeps on improving. If you can, when did you start baking?
2020.
If you can check 2020 and 2022, you're gonna see a great improvement. Just like me not speaking, I didn't start like this. You don't know buys. You don't know buys, but we are learning, right? Because in order to start speaking to big crowds, serious people, you need to have the skills and practicals. And then, so yeah, you need to find your skills and you need to build your skills. After you find your skills, you need to earn. And then you need to earn. So I'm quoting this from one of the books that have been written by Mutluri Sam. It's called Rethinking Black Consciousness. Mutluri states the following: in money, there's 2 parts of speech. It's called the hustling and investing. Ne? It's called the hustling and investing. It's called the hustling and investing. So with hustling, you ask yourself, how can I make money? And then with hustling, you work for money. And then hustle, you work for money. Most of us probably gonna start here. It can be a job, it can be speaking, it can be tutoring, whatever it is, it can be baking. That's where we start. Ne? So we need to find a capacity to earn. Because earning is the first building point of what? Of building wealth. And then if you are earning, it means you have what? We have the potential to build what? Wealth, right? You have the potential to build wealth if you are earning. Ne? Then the second part is called investing. This is where you have your money work for you. Ne? This is where you have your money work for you. If those tables are working, I don't have to be there. The tables are working for us. Ne? Because the tables are owned by this company, Scholar Academy. You can see our branding here. They're working for this company. Ne? they are working for Scholar Academia. So now you don't have to be there. So now we make money through tutoring. We take the money from tutoring, we buy assets. Those assets are making money for us. Because there are also some intellectual investments that we are working on for the academy, you understand? There are certain things that we're going to be venturing into. So these tables are working for us, it's investing, it's money working for us. It's money working for us, but most of us, we're going to have to start here. Because unfortunately, we don't come from wealthy families. We have to start here. There's nothing wrong with a job. A job requires a plan. It requires a plan. Then the next one is called pay yourself. It's called pay yourself, save or keep. What is to pay yourself? To pay yourself is to save or invest. It's like it's to save to invest. It's to save to invest. So when you pay yourself, at least after you work, first you said you need to build your skills. After you build your skills, you need to do what? You need to earn. After you earn, you need to pay yourself. This is where investing starts. You need to pay yourself. So if you earn 10,000, at least minimum a month, you should put 1,000. That 1,000, you don't touch it. It's not for you. It's for investments. So you have to keep that money up until you get that particular investment that you want. Sometimes you might not have a plan, but at least if you are saving, you can attract opportunities. Because once you start saving, you start attracting opportunities. Rather be ready and not have an opportunity than have an opportunity and not be ready. Do you understand? So people may ask, how long do I pay myself? For as long as you can, up until an opportunity arises. If you want maybe a mic for 5,000 for maybe podcast, every month you start by paying yourself 500, which means in 10 months you're going to be having what? Your mic. So it's important, guys, to pay yourself. Well, please, the money that you make from paying yourself is not money that you use for anything. You don't touch that money, no matter how broke you are. So paying yourself, you can use the money for the following things. You can invest it in yourself development, like attending classes like this. It's paying yourself. Attending such classes in seminars is paying yourself, right? Buying investment is paying yourself. Buying property, whatever it is, you're paying yourself, right? So there's this line that I violated. It says earn, save and invest. Repeat the process. Earn, save and invest. So you need to keep doing the same thing. Earn, save and invest, right? Earn, save and invest. So when you invest, your money works for you, right? Investing can be building a business, buying shares, writing books, livestock, buying shares, renting out shares. You cannot depend on a single stream of income. Because guys, business is up and down, especially those of you who know tutoring. Tutoring January is the hardest. Sometimes Feb is the hardest. Sometimes even March is the hardest. So which means if April starts to pick up, you need to think about the next coming months. Because in December in tutoring, there's no money coming in. So is it safe to depend on one form of income? You need to have different skills of making money, right? Just like baking, in December there's a lot of customers. But January goes down the line. So which means you need to have another form of income that's going to keep on pushing in January. Because one of the things that I do is do what? Micro lending. So micro lending January, no, most people are broke. People come borrow money, you bring back my money with interest. You understand? So you need to have different forms of income. Just like this is going to be an investment, right? It's just working on the physical copy part and it's going to be sold. But the PDF is already there, right? So next thing, don't confuse investing and saving. Don't confuse investing and saving. I think you can highlight that one. Because saving and investing are two different things. Most people think just because they're saving, they're investing. They are not. Investing and saving are two different things. So saving is to keep your money is to put your money away and not use it. So when you save, you put your money, it's not doing anything, right? It's sitting there. But if your money is working, it's investing, right? So there's nothing wrong with saving. So saving should have a purpose. Saving should have a purpose. I only save when I have a purpose. Personally, I don't recommend saving. Because they say savers are losers. Because you remember when we spoke about inflation. So I only save whenever there's a purpose. Let's say I wanna buy branding. That's the only time I'm gonna start saving. Let's say the branding cost 1,000. Every month I'm gonna save for the next 4 months. Every month 200, 250, 250, 250, 250. That's when I save. But if there's no particular purpose or there's no goal for saving, I don't save. I rather invest. That's why I don't keep money in the accounts, in the banks. Because when you keep money in the bank, someone else is making money out of my money. So I not have my money work for me. Because sometimes if your plan is to buy branding, if your plan is to raise money for 5 months, in that particular 5 months, you can even use some of that money to do what? To loan people. So instead, let's take your saving, you wanna buy a brand, already have 500. You take that 500 that you said comes back with 250. So it even makes your goal to be much easier to reach. You understand? It makes your goal to be much easier to reach. Ne? Then the next part I wanted to emphasize is starting small. As I've said, a journey to 1,000 miles starts with the first step. You don't just get to 1,000, you start somewhere. That's like today. Today is the launching of this. There's gonna be more. By September, when you do the second one, the numbers have to be 2 times. And or they should increase, because you need to start somewhere. You don't just start, right? You need to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. Then another part, due to time, I'll just try to rush fast. Another thing is giving. In your money, put some money away for giving. Those of you who grew up in Christianity or who grew up reading the Bible, I'm sure you're familiar with the script, Malachi, the last one, right? It talks mostly about investments. Even the book of Proverbs, it says in order to attract wealth, you need to give. Because when you don't give, you lose. So the